for me, for a young IPS officer who comes from the plains into the hills, into the jungles, it's completely like but the first shot. When you hear the first shot and you get attacked, and there it is, and then you see what is there inside you. My approach was, you fire upon me and I'll chase you, till I get you. So I'll not like duck down or something. आप मुझे मौत से नहीं डरा सकते. You cannot scare me with death. In India, we have I don't have the figures, but this parallel economy is very big. Very big. This, that undercover economy, the black economy, or whatever you say, the parallel economy is very big. The economic development has to be rooted, on the grounds. The people on the ground have to actually develop. Just making a few people on the top develop won't bring you that 5 trillion economy and everything. If you are ready, if you have the courage to break it, you can break it.
It is my honor to be with you, sitting with you and having this conversation, Anand sir. And I firstly want to thank you for everything that you have done for this nation. And through this conversation, will bring the voice, bring the mission, bring the vision that you have in your mind. And let's get started.
Thanks, Ayush.
See, the thing is, what happens on the battlefield remains there. The terror, all those impact, But how did you build the mindset that you have to take care of those situations, to tackle those situations? Share some stories. How were those days for you?
Yeah, Ayush, when you choose to become a cop, and then you land up in a terrain which is filled up with, the dreaded things which you can even imagine. And then you don't have an option, you don't have an other option than to fight. And there's not even running away is not an option, So you have to fight. You are in a place where you have to fight to survive. You have to fight for whatever, that you are there, you have to fight. So I must say that, when I landed up in Meghalaya, especially, then it was at the peak of its militancies, the GNLA and Alpha and a lot of other militant groups combined, they were active there. And as a young IPS probationer, it was expected by my seniors that I'll take up the gun and I'll lead the force and I'll be into the jungle and myself, leading from the front and not like sitting back and giving instructions. So that way I landed up there, and myself being an enthusiast, I'm having a background in martial arts and being in, very outdoor type person. So I really initially I was a bit like taken aback that what is this? I joined as an IPS and you are pushing me down into the jungle like I should be sitting with the Lal Batti car and the jo hota hai, the way it is. But then I'm into the jungle. Initially I had my own, things that, no, this is not correct. All of my batchmates are doing, they're getting good things, and I don't even have a vehicle. You have just given me a gun and pushed me into the jungle. Is this the life that I came for? And I don't see any future also. You don't even tell me what next. You are not telling me how long I'll be there. You are just saying, just be there. And it seems like an unending situation, that the way you might be knowing, the Northeast, it has been.
Yeah.
So for me, for a young IPS officer who comes from the plains into the hills, into the jungles, it's completely like but the first shot. When you hear the first shot and you get attacked, and there it is, and then you see what is there inside you. That thing which comes out of you, that reaction which you get into actually defines your next course of action. And then I realized I was made for the jungles.
Wow.
I was realized that was a point of realization. And then gradually it so happened that whenever there was a firing onto me, the first reaction would be people for duck down, take some aad, keep yourself safe and then try to retaliate, fire, or keep quiet, lie low, things like that. I was, completely ulta.
Achha.
My guys, my team guys started telling me, sir, are you mad or what? This is not the way it is done. You should not do this. You are flaunting the... you are not even taking care of the basic rules of operations. What is this and that? But somehow, I don't know what it was, good, bad or ugly. The ultimate thing is that we won. The thing is I'm alive. So It worked. So my approach was, when you say this, my approach was, you fire upon me and I'll chase you, till I get you. So I'll not like duck down or something. So, there was a mythology built up among the minds of few of those people. Later on, a few of them surrendered, and he wanted to see the tabiz, the special amulet which I was wearing. They thought I am wearing something which is helping me not get fired upon.
Yeah.
They think that I am able to avoid the bullets because of that particular amulet or that
Yeah.
taweez.
Yeah.
So this was a thing which got into their heads. So you can understand किस पागलपन से मैं दौड़ाता था उनको.
क्या
I
बात
used to chase them. You fire upon me, I'll chase you till the last. I don't get you. My whole team पीछे रह जाता है, and I would chase them, and individually if needed. But the team was good. They kept along.
Right.
And this was a situation where what you said, that what happened in the battlefield generally remains there. But I'm sharing this. So we had really tough times. I used to do this, and somehow I had lost that fear of. Still, I've lost that fear of death.
Right.
कि आप मुझे मौत से नहीं डरा सकते. You cannot scare me with death.
Right.
So this is the last thing which will scare me ever. So that way, I must say that it has built up my psyche. You find me doing. People say sahas. मैं कहता हूँ दुस्साहस. It's not sahas, it's dussahas. So when you stop being afraid, then your actual thing comes out. Then you are limitless. You are boundless. You can spread and go to do anything. So I believe that phase of my life has actually made me, realize myself, and it has helped me unleash myself. So now it is like even leaving IPS was not an easy thing.
Yeah.
Because of that dussahasipan, that came into me. I realized, no man, this life is not just to be into a job, do a job, get retired and have a cozy life. No, it is not meant for that. I survived so many gun battles, innumerable gun battles, that still I'm alive. So there has to be a better reason for this, why I'm alive. And so I'm just trying to pursue it further.
Right. So how did it really, really change you in daily life scenario wherein you were someone who just used to run after the terrorists and all those people who were trying to, establish themselves as they rule the city and whatnot. And now that you are here and you're moving towards the next goal in your life, the version 2, right? So how that mindset, that avatar is helping you today?
Definitely it is helping, because the first decision of leaving IPS, and leaving IPS without really getting a godfather with you, in the true sense, when you know that there are people who say that they'll support you, but you somewhere in the deep down in your hearts, that it may not happen. It may not, come in a way that you have got a lot of support and people who will be helping helping you out, establish yourself again in some other field. So that when you are up to yourself, when you are left alone in the lurch and you're left in between the sea, that like, now get onto yourself, ab karo jo karna hai. Most of the people would either, they will like lie down, they will lie low, or they will quit, or they'll withdraw, or they will stop fighting. But that mindset, that that jungle mindset, that Mowgli mindset, that helped me sustain myself, and that is still helping me to be in the fight. And I know that I'll be here, and for what I have started, the mission, the task which I have taken up, I'll definitely ensure that I take it to its logical conclusion. So that mindset will definitely help me.
Wow, love that about you. And the thing is, the next question that I have in my mind is that so many people know what power the what power the uniform of an IPS brings, but there are so many things which people aren't aware of. So I want you to share what really happens when you become an IPS, and what is out there already, what people are unaware of.
Right. You see, mostly people are aware of what it is and what it is not. A few are, in fact, and a few myths are also there, which have been built up by the movies and the cinema.
Let's kill all those myths today.
I don't know whether we'll be able to kill them or not, but still I would speak about them.
Sure.
So one thing is that IPS is just like any other civil service, where you join as a manager or as an administrator in a department, the police department, okay, where your work is expected to be more of a supervisory nature, a leadership, wherever you are, you will be into leadership position, and you'll be supervising things, you'll be monitoring some a bigger operational things, and you will ensure the proper documentation, you will ensure like what do you say, like in the institutional setup of this whole department. So that is the expected role of an IPS officer, which definitely includes what is core policing. okay, which is like preventive policing, detective policing, and criminal justice system, the part of the investigation and prosecution. So these parts are part of IPS. But what I have understood, ki, um, the original idea of IPS has been an administrator in the police department. Okay, not becoming really a police per se, but
Right.
gradually it has so become that an IPS have started working the same way that our Daroga is doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so even our seniors have started pushing the juniors into that. Learning is okay.
Yeah.
But if you keep doing the same thing, like for a long time, then your mindset is changed.
Yeah.
You start believing and behaving like a field officer.
Right.
Whereas you are expected to lead the force.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then what happens? Somebody outside your department or the system starts leading you. And there this
Correct.
whole gadbad in the police department which you see, where there is an issue with timely reaction, taking accountability of things, performing to, up to the mark which is expected. All these things are happening because of this role confusion.
I see.
Unfortunately, IPS, which I have seen, I'm not saying everybody, there are a few very bright officers, but mostly it has become like this, that people in the name of field duty, in the name of experience, in the name of, working on the ground, they have their thought process has been diluted. Their leadership qualities have been diluted. Unfortunately, everybody who is rising the rank, they all want to cling on to the power.
Right.
Everybody wants to be the leader, and
Yep.
below them, they think that everybody is a follower.
Right.
So the young officers are not getting the correct opportunities to really be a leader in themselves.
Right.
Okay. So जैसे senior होते हैं, the moment you become a senior, you should be guiding your force.
Yeah.
But rather than guiding you, like, keep the powers intact with you.
Ego
So these are
all,
issues which I have seen, ki because of this, which movies show that Singham thing, that
Yeah.
things can turn like whatever you want to do, you do. It's not possible. For every petty thing I'm telling you, you are accountable.
Right.
You cannot do whatever you want to do in the uniform. The uniform is like it's like a responsibility one. Okay, it's accountability.
Right.
You wear your nameplate.
Yep.
And the nameplate is an accountability that who it is who's doing this. So with IPS or with police service, a lot of accountability comes in. And then with the great powers comes great responsibilities. The same thing applies there. So I'll say in from outside we think that as an IPS you can do anything. No, you cannot do anything. Okay. As an IPS you have solution for everything. No, you don't have. As an IPS you can change things. No, you cannot change. Okay. You're just an executor of the government orders or the rules which are in place. You are not there to mend any rule. You are not there to apply your discretion. Okay, you are not there to do anything which is outside the SOP. Okay, so it is a very within a confined area you have to work, and within that autonomous area of yours, you are free to act. There you can do your innovativeness. You can do take up initiatives which may be like which looks different than normal. So, but you have a small autonomous zone in which you can do all these things, but nothing beyond that. So the first thing when you think that why I switched from IPS to this career, this is the part, because I wanted to expand that area of autonomy.
Right.
That autonomous zone, I found it as quite narrow when I wanted to work for the social good. So I thought that I still have energy, I have ideas, I have certain visions which I want to apply. But my autonomous zone within the IPS was not allowing me to work on those fronts. And that's how I choose. That's why I'll say ki when you are joining an IPS or an IAS, be clear in your mind that you are joining you're joining into a set system.
Right.
Within, and you have to work within a SOP, within some procedural limitations, and you have conduct rules guiding your actions and reactions.
So I have two things in my mind which I wanted to ask you. First thing, do you see, is there a solution to the problem that you mentioned about the system, the entire system? B, do you think Bollywood is creating a bad influence through maybe movies or series in terms of a perception for general audience?
Yeah, you see, yes, it can be corrected. It will be corrected when we have proper people in the political leadership positions.
Okay.
Because what happens, police as a department, I'm telling you, everybody's using this department.
Okay.
Police perhaps is the only department which is the ultimate authority. in the hands of anyone. कुछ नहीं करोगा पुलिस भेज दूंगा, अरेस्ट करवा दूंगा, केस लगवा दूंगा, जेल भिजवा दूंगा. These are the ultimate threats.
Yep.
Nobody, if I send you a notice, it doesn't matter to you, send me notice, I'll not reply to you.
Yep.
But the moment if I don't do anything on the notice, police will come. Then there comes that fear factor. So police as a department, it is that, the dund part of administration. So everybody wants to control it. Nobody wants to give it the autonomy, which is available to maybe the judiciary. If police gets the autonomy, definitely there should be a system of accountability. I'll not say, unlimited autonomy. Autonomy should be there. Then only this department can actually work wonders. And the people who are using it, or rather misusing it, should be equally, they should be ready to face if they do something wrong. The same organization can, get onto them. But unfortunately, see, आज के दिन में क्या होता है? Most of the police organizations are being used politically.
Yep.
There are many organizations in the name of CBI, ED, and the thing for which they are made. Unfortunately, the perception has now become like that.
Yep.
You see, it's a general talk in the bazaar also. If you say, "Bhai, ED aa jayega, CBI aa jayega," So what has it become? It is this. The organization is losing its sanctity because of political misuse of such organizations. And it's not. I'm not saying about the present. All the governments have done it, right from inception of this our nation as a democracy. You see, all the police organizations have been misused by whosoever has been in power. So we cannot blame ki now it has been done now only. Mm-hmm. It is being done continuously, and unless the police reforms take place properly, where the question of police autonomy comes in, till that time I believe that police will remain a dangerous weapon in the hands of a few what do you say, politicians or people who are in power who will use them for their personal agenda or ends. So that is one there. And movies ka apne jo kaha, movies are creating an entertainment quotient. Somewhere they will show you very strong policemen, somewhere they show you very weak police department, somewhere they show you Singham, where somewhere they show you some corrupt police one who is doing everything nonsense. So police is somewhere getting projected, broadly the way it is. I'd say the way it is, with a bit of cinematic presentation and exaggeration on both sides.
Yeah.
Even good part is exaggerated, even the bad part is exaggerated.
I see.
The truth lies somewhere in between.
I see.
Somewhere in between. So that is there. So, but I believe yes, ki this cinema and this whole creative world, is somewhere. It is an expression of the society itself. So we cannot say that what is being shown is completely wrong.
I see. And you rightly said the essence and the beauty and the originality when the entire department was being formatted, that is totally missing. That is entirely missing. And I want you to be a more transparent towards the youth, towards those who are in their 20s, who are joining the forces, who are putting so much of hard work day, night, out, 24/7 to achieve that thing, to be there, to reach there, to be even an IAS officer, IPS officer, whatnot. What do you think is the reality of today that people, and especially those students, should be aware of?
No, I would say that still in this country, if you really want to work as an executive, you want to really have a say in the running of the country, you must join the IAS, the IPS and all the services. They're the best platforms which will provide you the opportunity to work for the country.
Right.
But आप वहाँ बदलने की मत सोचो. Don't think you'll change the country by joining the services. You are there to maintain things. You are not there to change things. You have to change things, become a politician.
I see.
Okay. You can only maintain it. The services, you have to understand the services is the tantra which has been created to maintain the status quo, or to maintain the system and not to break the system, because they are the part of the system. When the machines, just say in a car, there are different nut bolts and all the gears and everything. It is there to run the car, not to break the car.
Exactly.
If you have to change the design or change the car, you have to get out of the car first. You cannot be in the car and change the car. Then you'll meet an accident. You'll have a brake fail. So you have to get out of it. So you should be clear when you are joining a great service, you are getting a great platform to work for the country, serve the country, work towards, the running of the country. That's it. The moment you start thinking of changing it, the system will fall upon you.
Thank you
So,
for being transparent.
yes, so that has to be there. So that's a very great platform, a very decent platform, respectable platform to work for. But then your intentions and ambitions should be within your
Limits.
limitations and the conduct rules framework.
No, I totally agree. Rightly said again, and thank you for being transparent. I see. I feel like the opportunity of someone becoming a true leader, a good leader for the society, for the country is there. That opportunity exists the most, in the setup, in the, uh, ecosystem.
Right.
That's there for sure. Again, I want to go a bit back in the past. See, the thing is, even till this date, be it through media, be it through any channel, so many people still do not know all these mafia who existed in India, who still are there, what kind of business, what all sort of business they are involved in. And you've seen this very closely. You've, again, removed them for that matter from, in Assam and other places. So I want you to share what all happens, what kind of business they are involved in, especially in India.
Yeah, you see, there are almost anything you say. If there is a money transaction or a money trail, there's always a possibility of tweaking it to benefit someone. Okay, because in the regular channel, your profits are limited, 5%, 10%, 20%. But when the greed comes, when that intention to make quick money comes in, then that speed won't help many people. Okay, so when you are seeking a profit of 200%, 300%, 1000%, then you have to tweak the ways. You have to get into wrong things. You have to avoid the government machinery, the taxes and everything. And you have to maybe, crush a few of the people who are actually into correct business and all to gain these things. And this is being done by we call it syndicates, where people come together. The syndicates come together with this intention of making money, which is through the illegal channels or the illegal means. And it goes through anything. आप चावल की सप्लाई से बात कर लो, इवन इफ यू आर सप्लाइंग राइस, उसमें कैसा करता है, इवन सप्लाइज इन द वर्क्स इन द गवर्नमेंट, थ्रू द गवर्नमेंट जो वर्क्स होते हैं उसमें कर लीजिए आप. नॉर्मल जो भी वट एवर द मार्केट में वट एवर गुड्स कमोडिटीज सर्विसेज आर बीइंग आर मूविंग और गेटिंग सप्लाइड एवरीथिंग by creating a very, it appears like a web, but it's very interconnected within few people. You'll not even realize that somebody who is in charge of getting a thing corrected is actually a part of the syndicate. And that's how, and the people who are running it, they are not seen in the system. इसे जब पकड़ा जाता है तो देखना कोई सिपाही पकड़ा जाएगा, some clerk will go to jail, some babu will go to jail, some police officer will go to jail, some enforcement officer will go to jail. But the guy who's running the show is never brought into the picture. So it's a very well laid system wherein this money, because if you study economics in India, we have I don't have the figures, but this parallel economy is very big. This that undercover economy, the black economy, or whatever you say, the parallel economy is very big. The black market. People say that after this demonetization and all, lot of things have gone. No, lot of this black marketing has gone into the legal channels. It is still there, because on ground we have seen things happening in a way that you become perplexed to see, man, what all things can happen when somebody has decided that they will use or exploit the system for their own end. They do that, and they do it, they do it in a way that you just can't do anything about it most of the time. Even if you want to get into it, you are brought, you are taken to task. So a lot of things, you'll see a lot of officers and all, they may not be part of this whole dirty business, but they're also not doing anything to stop it. Because they know that the moment they get into it, they try to stop, they'll be blamed that they're trying to extract something out of it, or they're trying to benefit out of it. They'll be charged for, anything, and they'll be sent to jail to disturb the system. So abhi aisa ho gaya ki what I have seen it, and not everywhere, I'm not saying in Assam, Bihar, after I've been here, I've seen it here more so.
Achha.
That either you are part of the system or you are out of the system. You understand? You are either part of the system or out of the system. And when you are out of the system, be ready to face anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how things are running. And unfortunately, till our economy, which the Honorable Prime Minister 5 trillion economy, जो हम सोच रहे हैं, we are thinking of and we are working towards, कहीं ना कहीं this, the economic development has to be rooted, on the grounds. The people on the ground have to actually develop. Just making a few people on the top develop won't bring you that 5 trillion economy and everything. But let's see, we are waiting. And there are a lot of things. If you start opening up, a lot of things will get opened. And a lot of dirty things are there happening all around us, while we talk here. And many things are going on which are definitely illegal, which are extra legal, and which are being used, where influences are being used to somewhere extract economic or financial benefits for themselves or for a group of people.
Right. So it's not definitely not limited to guns and weapons. It's beyond that.
Yeah. Much beyond. You speak about a trade and you'll have a channel which is running parallel to it and which is an illegal channel. Anything. I'm telling you, anything, absolutely anything. Whether it's health, whether it's education, whether it's daily livelihood stuff, it can be anything. Just name a thing and, if you go deep, you'll find, it's like that dark web thing.
Right, yeah.
It's like the dark web, which, in IT,
Yeah.
Similarly, a dark world is going around with us, along with us. It's flourishing perhaps more than the normal thing, what we see in the society. So it's like that. Bihar mein aap jaake dekhiye, if you go to Bihar, you'll find so much of filthy money, brother. So much of filthy money, and people are having filthy money, I'm telling you. You go to villages and you see the houses and all. I mean, well, the whole village is poor, the whole Bihar is poor. I mean, there is a lot of difficulties all around, and still you see these, mahal standing in between the villages. Where is the money coming from? Where is the accountability? You see somebody rising up like anything, nobody. So many things going on, and it needs some basic correction is required to get things in order. Believe me, if any government is serious, they have to stop this. You say, you know what? I'll tell you one thing. When I complained about these things to somebody from one organization, they said, Anand ji, you have to understand politics works like this. You have to understand you need money for politics. So there are so much of explanation and acceptance of this, what is, you say, undercover economy, or you say the dark web thing and all. So much of people have accepted it as a part of it. So nobody's working actually to thwart it, because it's making easy money. It's creating very easy channel of doing a lot of things. So I believe there has to be somebody with real vision and somebody who's ready to break it and tell ki, कहते ऐसे ही होता है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. If you are ready, if you have the courage to break it, you can break it. And people might say a lot of things, it will not work. You have to be ready to sacrifice certain things in the short run to let the country gain in the long run.
Right.
So we are waiting for maybe such leadership to come.
Definitely. And in your, working days and as an IPS officer, of course, you used to crack these things, and you used to figure out these people and eventually make sure they do not exist. But now, as a politician, how do you think, not just yourself, but how do you think this situation should be handled, be it by you or a group of people like you?
Ayush, it is very much possible.
Okay.
As I'm telling you, as a police officer भी मैं कर लेता. But because given my seniority, I was not at, मैं अपने नीचे तो करता ही था. The seniority which I was having, definitely the system below me, beneath me, would be working correctly and properly. That I used to ensure. Ki I would not let you get into all this rubbish nonsense business where, So, but again, there was, as I told you, there are certain parallel things moving.
Yeah.
Wherein you cannot have a control and a command. The moment you try to do something, you'll be blamed for, as if you are interested in getting something out of that fishy business.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were forced to keep your eyes away.
Yeah.
These are also certain things now which make you feel suffocated sometimes. People like me who enter the service with this huge, things and ideologies in the mind, and then suddenly you are facing, and you're not able to rather, come in terms with that. Then you become restless. You want to get out of the system, which happened with me, in some way or the other. Because I really wanted to change this thing. This is not proper. Because the sapna of Ram Rajya, When we say we want the Ram Rajya, the Adarsh, the ideals have to be followed, which was followed by Ram. राम के आदर्श पे ही राम राज्य बन सकता है. रावण के आदर्श पे तो लंका बनेगा, राम राज्य कैसे बनेगा?
Right.
And I'm a person who believes in the concept of Ram Rajya. And for me, Ram Rajya is a concept where the society is completely transparent, where the society is giving opportunity as per the ability, where the society is promoting each other, where the society is a place to be happy about. So that's the concept of Ram Rajya. And believe me, with these dirty things going around, we will never reach Ram Rajya. The sapna of India becoming Vishwa Guru, I don't know what.
Maybe
कैसे
on
हम
social
approach
media,
करेंगे.
maybe on social media it can.
वही नहीं, वो वहाँ भी नहीं बनेगा. वहाँ भी नहीं बनेगा because lot of negativity is there itself. Okay, but people who truly believe in these things, like I believe that I truly believe in these things and I really want to work for it. So as a politician, I'm telling you, if I am getting into a charge like this, you see, you are here, I'm here. You see how things are getting controlled.
Yeah.
Things will get controlled. You just need to know how to get it controlled, and you need to let go some immediate benefits, so that the society gains in the long run. So that has to be clear, and transparency is needed. If I start thinking about myself, I start thinking, my performance, I have to perform, so I'm ready to take shortcuts and all, then again I'll also fail miserably the way others are failing and what we are criticizing right now.
Right.
So, I believe that a strong leadership is needed, a selfless leadership is needed, a leadership which not only has vision, but the ability to execute that vision, that is needed. Then only we'll be able to see our, state or the country prosper in the correct sense, and the people into, really achieving what they deserve. So that's what I'm also looking forward to.
I love the fact that you coming as a politician are super transparent about your journey, about your own life, which we see a lot of politicians have been involved in so many crimes, huge scams and whatnot. And I really feel like people and of my generation, of your generation and beyond that as well, should take consideration of the ability to think through whom they are choosing and why they're choosing them for, right? And I would want you to express more about the vision that you have in your mind, let's say about next few years, at least 5 years, what all impact you want to bring to the society.
Right. Ayush, I would say that you are correct, that we first of all, we should ask for it. You get what you ask for.
Yep.
So we should ask for a better society. We should ask for a society where there is transparency, where there is accountability, where there is possibility and opportunities for everyone. So this is what I'm also asking for. As you said, what am I going to do? My first thing, after seeing society very closely on ground as a police officer, I have realized that unless the law and order is at its best form, you cannot think and talk about anything else. Zinda hai tab to kuch karenge. Jaan hai to jahan hai.
Yeah.
So I believe in the best possible law and order situation anywhere. Okay. Where unfortunately, what happened during I fought the recent elections also. No.
Yeah.
So what happened that all these crooks, those who know my mindset, those who know that what am I up to, they all got together.
Oh wow.
To stop me, because they know that if I come, this all hanky-panky business is going to stop. They knew that, and they have to stop me. So this, unfortunately, when the crooks are getting together, the good people are not. They are again thinking on the lines of different things.
Yeah.
So first of all, I believe we have to work on a good law and order situation, where we have to make those good people who did not get the confidence be confident that if they stand for themselves, if they stand for the kids, if they stand for the society, they will be at least be safe. Nobody's going to hound them. Nobody's going to, drag them into some false cases or, punish them for things not done by them. So I believe the first and the foremost thing which I would work on is the best form of law and order possible. That's my first thing, And how to get it done, I know it very well. I know how to get things formulated, how to divide the task to get it done, how to get it executed on ground, how to monitor it, how to supervise it, and how to follow it up till its conclusion. I know the drill. So it's not that I cannot, law and order to main thik kar hi dunga, isme mujhe koi shak nahi. The second foremost thing which comes to mind is a good health facility. For a good life, what we are aspiring for, I'll come down, that you should have the best health facilities available. Because unless you are sure about your health, that you are living and you can have a good life, and you physically you are safe, till that time your mind is not ready to think about anything else. So the health facilities I have to work. And my point is that health facility at the doorstep. Your primary health centers should improve first. Before bringing in any super specialty hospital, I would rather believe in focusing on primary health facilities, and would also ensure the doctors and the paramedical staff and the supplies of the medicines at the primary center. Because if a doctor's paramedical staff, their service conditions are better, they are satisfied, they want to work, then only they'll provide the health services. If their conditions are not taken care of, push them to live in a life where, they have to share a cow shed, then they are not going to work for you. They'll run off, So we have to work on those things. There are these registered medical practitioners. I'm talking from the perspective of Bihar. I have seen them, brother.
Yeah.
In a matter, I know that case where there was a fracture, and this gentleman, the way he tied up the leg had to be amputated later on. And he was a registered medical practitioner. Nobody is following up with them. Nobody is supervising them. Nobody is reviewing them.
Nobody is asking them.
Nobody is asking what they are doing. They are just left it, as if the people on the ground are bhed bakri or something. You leave them to whatever. So we are facing the worst of the health facilities on the ground. Not to talk about the big super specialty hospitals, again, which are more concerned about making more money than actually giving the health facilities.
Right.
So we have to draw this line somewhere that health and education are not the avenues to earn money. They are real term social services. It's like, jitna kharcha ho, ye government ko has to, because the governance the better governance would be then when we are providing the best and free education and free health facilities. Then your people are left to explore their potentials, to bring into economic well-being ke liye kaam karna. They will start working towards production, to create more of business, for creating more material prosperity. But when they are busy thinking of what will happen with my health, what will happen with this education, so they are very uncertain about these basic things of life. So there also creeps in corruption.
Right.
Because most of the people, if you see and find on the ground, petty level corruption, why they are making money. If you ask them privately, they'll say, kal ko bimar pad jaye to kaun dekhega mere bacche ko? If there is a health issue, how costly the health facility has become. How costly the good education has become. Where do I get the money from? How do I feed my children? How do I take care of my family? So these things. So I believe that government should come in and ensure the best and free education and health for all. Okay. And right from the primary center. It's not that for every good health, you make something a good hospital in Delhi or in Patna or in Bangalore and people start running here and no. It has to be good governance. का जो first principle यही है कि governance at the doorstep. The last mile connectivity has to be there. So I have to work on that. These things are part of my vision. And how to do it? Again, I have a laid down procedure and a plan for that. As I told you, we have to work for the betterment of the doctors, the whole infrastructure, and to ensure the correct conducive environment for them, so that they sit there and they actually practice for what they are being paid for and why they are recruited. So if we start working on that, believe me, a lot of problems will get solved. Similarly with the education policy, again the new education policy, a few points of it are debatable. There are a lot of questions on them also. But the ultimate thing is, what is education doing to you? The बुनियादी शिक्षा का जो concept था of Mahatma Gandhi, so if you really see what education is doing to our children, how is it preparing our children to compete in this modern world? So these things have to, just not giving them degrees or making them educated. A lot of things are being taken care of. I must admit that the system of education has improved over time. So but it has to reach. You see why children are going, गांव पे जाके देखेंगे ना, why children are going to the schools? They're not going to take education. They're going to have midday meal.
Yeah.
Well, that has become a khichdi center for them, not an education center for them.
Right.
So we have to understand that just making provisions for these things, and take it as an achievement that we are feeding so many children and giving so much of free things. That's not achievements. These are something to be ashamed of.
Yep.
That our population is still asking free things. They're
Yep.
not empowered. Rather than doing that, let us empower them to make for their own things. Empower the families so that why should the child go and have a khichdi which you provide them there? Why not the mother can give a better food and more nutritious food to them in their tiffin and they can have it there? Empower the family so that the family, why only children need? Uske mummy papa ko acha khana nahi chahiye kya? They also need to have good food.
Right.
So these are also things on which I believe I would love to work upon. And then would come the point of livelihood. Livelihood in all forms, in the forms of employment, self-employment, entrepreneurship, and a lot of related stuff like that.
Right.
Okay, so then we have to work on that. And then not only that, then the bridge between education and employment or entrepreneurship, where a person is got ready. In Bihar, if you come, the people who are very smart,
Yeah.
very, very, very smart, very highly potential children, but they don't know how to communicate.
Exactly.
They're not able to talk.
Yeah.
The potential, they're not able to come out with their potential. They're not able to project what the talent they are having.
Yeah.
And there it is that wo maar kha jate hain.
Exactly.
So these are certain gaps also which we have to fill up, where we have to work. Where skill development things are coming up. Skill development mein kya? You are getting them ready for the hospitality business. You are getting them ready for other things. But skill development is this also, where the communication skills have to be taken care of, where the kids or the children or the students who have the potential, help them come out with that. Help them express themselves better. So a lot of things to be done on that front also. With that, we have to work on sports also. Why I'm saying sports? It's not only promotion of sports, but it is also in this upcoming society where drugs is becoming a menace,
Yeah.
where other such distractions are there for the youth, where they are, their energy is fitted away into things which are not beneficial for the society or for themselves also. Their sports will bring in a sense of discipline, a sense of achievement, a sense of competition, a sense of health, a lot of things which are related with sports. And not only that, such a huge country of 1.4 billion population, and see our performance in the World Championships and the Olympics and everything. We are not even able to provide a playground in every village. Why should the children not have a proper playground in the village? Why can't every district have a Olympic-sized stadium with all the facilities of coach for all the sports form, from where the district level players can get prepared for the Olympics and things ahead? So these things also we have to work for. Art and culture. You go and see on the art and culture front, you'll find that, just a few people have taken all the responsibility upon themselves. But this art and culture should be part of the society. Art and culture, the traditions form in they're part of each and every household. But when the household is busy in, making for, trying to get 2 square meals for themselves, art and culture looks like something fantasy, or they're not even thinking of that. So this is how I believe then that we have to take along the society to a place where the society is taken care of 360 degree in its all forms and positions. And from there, the society is provided all the opportunities possible for them. And from there, that wo kickstart hota hai, what we say, development. These are the basic things of that. These are not development. Providing for education, providing for health, providing for infrastructure roads, these are not development. I don't consider. These are the basic things which you have to provide to start development. Now, development kya hota hai? Development is when the society is ready with all the opportunities open, and the society with the people. The society, I see the individuals and the groups with their merits and the potentials, they have the opportunities and they have the capabilities. They start participating in this whole economic system of this whole world economic system, where they start creating, producing things, productions like material, or providing services, and things which have tangible economic things which you can see, from where they can create a sustainable way of, livelihood. From where you earn money, or you economic well-being is to let you enjoy your life properly in this full form. And where the life is again is not in money. It is again going back to the art, culture, your leisurely times with your family, taking vacations, being in the hills, the mountains, where you actually feel that yes, I'm living and I'm living a healthy life, I'm living a happy life. The ultimate index to count upon will be the happiness index. So this is what we are all looking up to. So we have to stop saying कि हमने रोड बना दिया, हमने डेवलपमेंट कर दिया. रोड तो बनाया, but उस रोड से जा कौन रहा है? Highways, how many people, just don't talk about the highways, go and see the condition of the villages. The highway is not adding to the happiness index in the village. If your highway is helping the village, then it is okay. So lot of things like that. It's not only highways and big things in the cities, and it is again, things are getting created for those who are already well off, and you're not letting the people from the downtrodden sections of our society to really come up with the speed with which you have reached the speed. So again, the Swami Vivekananda ki wo baat yaad aati hai when he said that he holds everyone accountable and guilty in the society who has made up for themselves, who have become successful in their lives, and still there are people who are still toiling for the 2 square meals, and we are still into the basics of their lives. So we have to take responsibility. We cannot say कि भाई हम तो निकल गए, हम तो ठीक हो गए. If you are in that condition, it is you to be blamed. I believe that we have to take responsibility. Even if you are blaming them for their miseries, and still you have to understand कि it's just like a child, suppose. Sometimes वो बच्चे को नहीं पता होता है. कि what is good or bad for. You think you are a grown up? Let's help the kid. Let's help. Rather than letting them be there unless they are also taken, brought up to a limit. As a society, we are not proper. I mean, we are not okay. Suppose your child, you have made your child study in a good school, given him the best of the best things, everything's perfect for them. And then he comes on the road, and then he meets somebody from the other part, who has not got all the good things, who does not have the sophistication, and gets into a brawl with your child. Your child will have to face that dirt which you have not bothered to clear. So you cannot say that by making my own bubble good, your part, somebody will come and prick your bubble and make your bubble burst. So you have to take care of the surroundings. So once you are grown up, you have developed, ensure that everybody is brought up. Everybody is brought up to a situation from where you are safe. So it is important. अभी international policies में आप देखते हैं कि why are we considered about our neighbors and all? Neighbor में शांति क्यों चाहिए? Why we want peace in our neighborhood? Because if they are not at peace, they will disturb our peace.
Yep.
So that's the same thing inside the country also, within the society. It's not about our development. If I develop, well, good. But I have to make sure that everybody around me also develops. If I want to sit or be at a 40th storied building and have a good site, I'll have to ensure that 1 to 39 का जो story है, that is taken care of. 1 से 39 तल्ला तक का बिल्डिंग भी मजबूत होगा, then only मैं 40 तल्ले पे बैठ पाऊंगा. नहीं तो if that is not strong, I'll fall down.
Yeah.
So this is what I think a message which the society needs to get. Our big guys, our big time leaders of the society, the administration need to understand that making good for you, making good for your kids are of no use unless you bring up everyone. So this is my vision, where I believe that sarvodaya wali baat hai. You take along everyone, you ensure that everybody is brought up to at least a limit from where they are not hungry, where they snatch your food, where they are not bereaved of basics of life, where they try to get you into trouble to make good for themselves. So make sure that they are at a position. From there, it's like some sort of healthy competition. If they say you're doing good, they understand you are working better, you are working hard, you have more talent, and they appreciate that. So at least bring them up till that limit. Then only we say that we are living in a developed society. This 5 trillion economy means nothing unless each and every person is taken care of and everybody is well off and not still fending for their basic things of life. So this is my vision for, the society which I am trying to work for.
Right. I have so many things coming into my mind, but most importantly, I have a message. When you expressed that, when you were running for the, election campaign, and all those crooks came together and sort of, made a difficult time for you, I feel like introspection is super important for the Janta. And on top of that, there is this thing which is insecurity. Okay. understanding and observing a sense of insecurity, people, especially all those people who are, coming forward as a leader. If anyone, as a janta who's going to vote for their leader, see a sense of insecurity, I don't think they should, help them. They should vote for them. And this is what I wanted to share.
Yeah. Ayush,
yeah.
इसमें I'll tell you कि most of the people who are right now leading the show, leaders, so-called leaders, they don't want the people to have this maturity of understanding things. Because they know their limitations. They know how capable or incapable they are, the so-called the leaders. A few of them at least, I'll say.
Right.
And they know the moment this janta becomes intelligent and they start, understanding your abilities and inabilities, then they chuck you out.
Yep.
So they want the janta to remain dependent upon them, to live upon those freebies. A culture of freebies is being created where the janta is asking for mujhe aur free de do. I want this free, that free. But they should understand the basic concept of economics. Nothing comes for free. There's nothing called free lunch.
Yeah.
So if you are not really getting free, then definitely, somebody is exploiting you. It's not that. So the leadership is, unfortunately, they're not letting these people understand and come up to a level from where they can actually understand what is good and bad for them. The narrative is built कि the public is talking about no मुझे तो उनको प्रधानमंत्री बनाने के लिए वोट देना है, मुझे उनको मुख्यमंत्री बनाने के लिए वोट देना है, मुझे उनको पंचायत का प्रधान बनाने के लिए वोट देना है. बच्चे का क्या है? अरे बच्चा भी बन जाएगा ना, वो बनेंगे तो. बच्चे के लिए नहीं सोचना है. Not think about their kid. They'll not think कि whether my house is made or not. The Ram Mandir is made, the parliament is made, and I'm happy for that. ठीक है, it's a collective thing. Everybody should be happy for that. But मेरा घर भी तो बने यार, मेरा स्कूल भी तो बने. My hospital needs to be built up. Who will do it? You are not taking care of my school, the hospitals, and you are showing me other big structures and asking me to feel happy about it. How will I be happy when my kid is not getting educated, why my mother is dying without proper treatment, and you're asking me to happy by those biggest structures? But we are. So the people, unfortunately, in the name of bigger ideals and idealism, the way it has been perhaps, throughout. And it's very unfortunate. I find it very unfortunate that our people are being misguided, and they are themselves, even padhe likhe log, so-called educated people, they are also not understanding this thing. What is important? What is priority? There is this dar ka rajniti, where you are made afraid.
Right.
You do this, otherwise this will happen. You do this, otherwise this will happen. And then you are made afraid. A leader is not one who creates fear in their people. Yeah. A leader is one who creates confidence in the people.
True.
But unfortunately, the leadership which we are facing in this country right now, at all levels, they're trying to keep their places safe by creating fear among everyone. But I'm really looking forward for a leadership which will create confidence in the people. You should be confident that you ask me questions.
Yeah.
Mr. Member of Parliament, this is an issue which you have not been able to take care of. So why are you failing on this? You do it for me.
Yep.
I want it to be done like this.
Right.
But no. यहाँ पे what is expected? You see, member जिंदाबाद जिंदाबाद भैया मेरा जिंदाबाद. They all want this. They don't want you to ask questions. And the moment you ask question, somebody from behind will start saying, Bharat Mata ki Jai, Bharat Mata, and the question is gone into that. So this is what we are facing, and not only me, I'm telling you, many people like me want that a real issue should be discussed. It's not about कि किसके परिवार ने क्या कर दिया, किसका बेटा ने क्या कर दिया. अरे भाई साहब छोड़ो ना, जो कर दिया कर दिया. अभी let us talk about what आप करने वाले हैं. You tell us what you are going to do, what you have done. How are you going to improve yourself? How are you going to make things better? What somebody has done, and you say that I'm trying to do something progressive, and you talk about something 50 years or 100 years down the line कि 100 साल पहले क्या हुआ उसका मैं आज करूँगा. But this is not a dynamic way of handling development or creating a psyche of a matured country. So I'm really looking forward for a leadership which talks about development, which talks about future, which talks about definitely present, and which talks about positive things of life and not focus on negativity and creates negativity all around.
Looking forward to good times, Anand sir. And I would also want to pick one thing, the only thing from the entire mission that you have that intrigued me the most, that made me feel that yes, all the things, even if we put aside this one thing will make the biggest impact, and that is about the safety and the education of the young generation. Because even if we, let's say, fail to take care of the parents or older, if we are only able to take care of the child and on their safety, on their education, I think the future will look brighter, better in every sense. And that one point, even if we put the most work on that, that will save the entire nation in the longest run, you know.
True, somewhere true. Yeah, definitely we have to be future look. We have to look forward towards this upcoming generation. What has been done wrong, if you can correct it, well and good. But we should not really get into these negative debates of what has happened.
Yep.
Let us talk about what is happening.
Yep. And what can
happen.
True.
This is what we have to think of. Let's not waste energy. Energy जो है ना वो limited.
Limited.
So let us not waste in discussing what has happened. So look future.
There is another thing that genuinely boils my blood, and I recently saw it, that a 6-year-old got raped, and you've closely seen the Manipur case, and you've taken care of things there. And how do you think this one big problem in our society, be it in any state or city, can be solved? And towards so I have another follow-up question, which I am asking you right now only, which is that why self-defense has been perceived as boy stuff? Why not girls participate into it? So I want you to answer A and B, and yeah.
Right. So for point A, when we see these type of crimes happening, these gruesome crimes happening in the society, which speaks a lot about the definitely the low morals of those who engage into that, and the lack of control and lack of social discipline. So this is again what I understand is because of two main reasons. A person fails because the society has not been able to groom the person properly, and the enforcement agencies have not been able to create that environment where the person thinks twice or thrice before getting involved into any such act. So these two things, the failure, collective failure, is letting these things happen. The society has to groom the kid. Rather than telling your girl, wear proper clothes, teach your boy how to behave. This mindset we have to come. And that comes to the second question of self-defense. This is a gender bias, which you said. This is a gender bias ki martial arts and all these things are like boyish things, male things. Girls should be feminine and they should be. So this is a gender bias, but I believe the society is gradually opening up, and we have very good people coming into self-defense and martial arts also. I've been myself a martial arts practitioner, and I would suggest that every kid, as a ex-police officer, as a present person who's concerned about the society, I would suggest every parent to engage their kids in at least 3 type of things. The number one would be physical discipline, physical agility, physical balance, the physical maturity, and that comes through martial arts. That may come through some field sports, the ground sports. Okay, that is one thing which I would suggest parents to definitely, and get the kids at the age of not more than 3 years. जब वो 3 साल के होते हैं ना, जब पढ़ाई शुरू करते हैं, put them into martial arts and see how good they become as human beings. Get into the correct martial arts school, and you'll see the change. Number one is martial arts. Number two thing which I'll say, get them to music. It's very important for some spiritual calming, your ability to handle stress, the ability to to be a better human being, to get good powers of concentration. So music helps a lot in that. So one is martial arts and related stuff. The second one, which I would suggest, is music, and the third one would be creative arts, like painting, drawing, sculpting, or anything which helps you create things, which adds on to your imagination, where a kid becomes imaginative. So these 3 things taken together, brother, I'm telling you, we'll get a fantastic generation of kids coming up. By the age of 5 or 6, you'll find that they are something like some sort of a complete human package.
Superhuman.
Yeah, superhuman, complete human package, boys, girls alike. Both the same. And we'll get the best of the people who will be, who will be very beneficial, and they'll be like asset for the society and the country.
Indeed, and totally agreed. So you've created a special squad I've heard of in your working days as an IPS officer. I want to know more about that. How special that was.
Yeah.
Why you call it special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see what happens, like wherever I have been, still I'm doing that. I have this belief that you should have a core team, a team which is your team, and you work as a unit. You may be like 10, 15, 20 people, but you are identical, you are one, one for all for one. And this gives you a lot of, working, what do you say, the strength. So as a police officer, definitely we needed that. Being into insurgency operations, counter-insurgency operations, we always needed a team on which you could rely upon, where you can understand each other's body language, thought process. So for that, you need to have a squad, close squad. So there were SWAT commandos which worked with me. So very close team of 15, 16 boys. We were together. And that it was from there where I realized the potential of such a squad or a team, which can be focused and actually go and do anything they can want. For after that, wherever I was posted, I created a team, a new team. It is not that I used to carry the same team everywhere, no. Because if you can create a team, you can create it anywhere. You can multiply it, team create it everywhere. So I created these teams everywhere, and they were my, that, what is a Brahmastra. They were the team, and as a SP, you have to be strong. You cannot rely upon your police station and thanas that if you want to conduct an operation, you need teams from here and there. I had my team, strong team with me. And all my officers knew that this guy is having his own team and he can charge. If needed, he can himself get into the assault mode. So they would be on their foots. They will be on their toes, and they will be walking well better. So that was needed. And when it came for towards in Dhubri, I was there. We wanted to work against this, cattle trafficking, the cattle smuggling. So again, the same thing. There was so much vested interest. So I needed a strong team which could go and start hitting upon. So then there also my special squad was created, which started they would collect information and they will go and hit. So the moment we start hitting, now everybody knows that now we cannot hide things from him, and they will anyways do, so better everybody works. So things they were like a catalyst working for everyone. Similarly in Nagaon, we started an ANS, anti-narcotic squad, So that squad was so dedicated, believe me, the best performing squad, I'll say. Later on it was drawn, pulled into one issue where there was a firing incident and the squad was dismantled and things like that. A very unfortunate incident that was, but the squad was with a good intention, and they had really done wonders for the society of Nagaon, where they had actually controlled, and they created a example. They showed that if really police wants and enforcement wants, to control something, it can be controlled. So that was a great thing which they could, prove it there. And similarly, I was creating squads and special squads or some, task-based squads for where it was basically a team building exercise, and they have done wonders. Here also in political thing also, when I have come, I again created a squad for myself like that, and that squad is like a dedicated squad, Marmiting squad is there. Okay. And these guys are very good, young, dynamic guys I also have some elderly people in them who can give some sense to us. If we do go wrong, they can guide us. So this is a squad also which is very dedicated. I'm telling they will do wonders for the local society. And I would love to form such a similar squad at a state level, and rather in each district and in the whole country. Maybe with different set of leaders. Ayush, what I believe, it is not to be my squad. It is not to be me as a leader. It is a good leader is one who creates more leaders. And I believe in creating leaderships. I don't believe in creating followerships, So like that, I'm already working on it. And through your podcast, in fact, I would request people to get in touch with me. I would like you to lead, in wherever you are, in whatever forms you can add, do something good to the society. So I'm all there to support you and to let you come up with these special squads, which work in the interest of the society. Janahit or Jan Sevarth. काम करने को तैयार हो. This motto is of Assam Police, Janahit Jan Sevarth. And I have taken it up for my motto also, because I'm really impressed कि whatever you do should be Janahit में and Jan Seva के भाव से. So that's what I'm working for.
क्या बात है, leading to the greatness. So I've seen you, hanging around with great influencer people and influencers as well, like UK07. I've seen, that through the impact he has created with his following and through the vision that you had, especially with Assam related issues and whatnot, how do you think UK07 has, been involved and helped in so many situations? And B, apart from him, there are so many influencers in India who can participate in the vision that you have.
Right, you are right. In fact, I would say, ki, look, influencer, when you say influencer, what influence are you creating?
Yeah.
That is important. We have to understand there has to be a purpose to anything. There has to be even a method in every madness even. So I would in fact request all the influencers to understand if they're doing something, why are they doing something? And they should be transparent about it. Okay, look, I'm here to just attain fame for myself. I want to be, completely surrounded by you and call my name and I feel happy about that kick I'm getting. I'm just here to get name, fame. Fair enough. Kuch galat nahi hai, but tell it to them. Okay, I'm not here for you, I'm here for myself. Okay, or if you are here for a cause, okay, tell them. Like UK07, when he came, I asked him clearly, okay, look, buddy, you have so much of followership. I would request you to please appeal to everyone, no to drugs, no to bad things in life, and things like that. So he did it for me then. But I cannot follow him personally, what he's been doing and all. Right. So, like that, I would like to associate with such influencers. I would like them to come together for this cause. Because, brother, I am ready to walk on the ground, But he needs a good mouthpiece to speak for this vision, this cause, and to stand strong. Because even the influencers can, if they associate with us, they're part of this journey, Because everybody has different roles. So you join me as an influencer. You get the message correctly placed where we want to. You get the message of the society brought to us, that what corrections we need to do, and things like that. But we have to work together, because walking in silo will take us nowhere. अकेले अकेले हम भी अकेले काम करें, आप भी अकेले करें, तो ऐसा नहीं होगा. We'll lead to nowhere. There'll be people in this world that they will use different people. They'll use me. They'll use you. तो संघ शक्ति कल जुगे. इस कलयुग में संघमय शक्ति. You have to come together to be a team and work for the betterment of all. When you do good to everyone, good comes to you. You'll yourself become good. एक बड़ा अच्छा मैंने उस दिन पढ़ा था कहीं पे कि while I was trying to push someone to the peak, and by the time he reached the peak, I realized I am also on the peak. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So life is like that. We help others. By helping others, you'll get help to yourself and don't even realize that you actually attain a lot of things in life.
Beautiful. Have you seen that movie, 12th Fail, 12th Fail?
12th Fail.
Recently came.
IPS officer wala, Manoj ji wala. Nahi hai, sorry, but I missed it.
You missed it? In that movie, a lot of pain, suffering, sacrifices, all these things has been shown that too very beautifully. I think by far one of the best movies I've seen with respect to some sort of achievement, someone is achieving their goal and all. So, what happens is wisdom that you have with yourself comes with pain, suffering, sacrifices and whatnot, which people do not really see. I want you to express some of the things that has made you who you are in your journey.
A lot of things, brother. At a personal front, also, I've lost a lot of things in life. That we wanted as a kid. A lot of things. So I've lost a lot of things coming from a very humble background. So I've not really been. And somewhere, it had happened. मैं आपको बताता हूँ, जैसे छोटे में ना, जब मैं स्कूल जाता था, I used to see some of my friends coming up with क्या बोलेंगे, sandwiches, in their tiffins. And sandwich में कभी वो जैम लगा हुआ, जेली लगा हुआ, मेरे घर से वो भी नहीं मिलता था. मेरे लिए वो भी नया होता था. तो ये क्या चीज़ है यार? हम तो रोटी सब्जी, रोटी पराठा या भुजिया खाने वाले लोग, तो हमारे लिए तो वही होता था. ऐसी ब्रेड में वो जैम लगा के खा रहे हैं, दैट्स सो नाइस. तो मैं इस लेवल तक को मैंने देखा है, जबकि ऐसा नहीं है कि could not afford, my family could not afford. Maybe they were not exposed that, इतना पता भी नहीं था. बिहार की फैमिली से एक मिडिल क्लास परिवार पता ही नहीं था. तो वैसी चीज़ों से ना, अब you cannot ask for things. There were a lot of things which were happening around. So those things were personal. Lot of personal losses I've gone through, and a lot of personal miseries. That's a different thing. That's a personal चीज़ है. तो इसीलिए मैं ज़्यादा मुस्कुराता रहता हूँ, to maybe overcome all these personal things. But I believe कि my background in martial arts have also made me resilient, made me go-getter type of approach. And then I landed up into, जब IPS के बाद I landed up into a counter-insurgency situation, where from fighting was the only option, where I had to fight. I had to fight to survive. So that also made, created a lot of impact upon me. And I believe that after that, the person I have become is there to stay with me for life now. A lot of things.
Understood. So thank you so much for coming and taking the time out. Loved,
brother.
enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you so much. Same here. And thank you for letting me express a lot of things, which were there in my mind and heart. So thanks a lot.
Lastly, I want to say this to all of you who know him and who are going to be involved in his life through any medium. See, hard times create strong men. Strong men creates good time. And good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times.
Choose where you want to be in this timeline.
Choose where you want to be in this timeline of your journey. Amazing. Thank you.